From a petty hometown rivalry to one of the most quietly dangerous beefs in Memphis, this story gets way darker than people think. Because before the world ever heard Back in Blood, Pooh Shiesty and Big Boogie had tension simmering in the streets, and it all exploded the day Shiesty went on live and told Boogie straight to his face, "I never liked you."
I ain't never liked you, cuz.
That moment didn't just go viral, it exposed a history people still whisper about in Memphis. And when Big Boogie later sat on a podcast saying he got no beef with Pooh Shiesty,
I never had beef with nobody in Memphis.
he wasn't being humble. He was low-key admitting he's scared of what Shiesty is known for outside the music, the stuff only the streets talk about. But this beef doesn't stop there. There's Corey, Big Boogie's other enemy, the same Corey who went viral for saying, "Name a nigga that played with me," and Corey instantly replied, "Pooh Shiesty."
Name a nigga played with me, bro.
Pooh Shiesty.
That one word had the whole internet screaming. And the craziest part? People in Memphis say Pooh Shiesty and his crew were the real reason Big Boogie packed up and moved to Atlanta, leaving his own city behind. Today we're diving into the real origin, the street politics, the fear, the rumors, the IG lives, the threats, and the clips that created this entire tension between Big Boogie and Pooh Shiesty, and why it still matters even with Shiesty behind bars. To understand how deep this situation really is, we gotta go back to where it all started. See, Memphis ain't like other cities. This is a place where street credibility is everything, and your reputation follows you everywhere you go. Both Pooh Shiesty and Big Boogie came up in this environment, but they were moving different from day one. Pooh, born Lontrell Williams, came out of South Memphis repping Choppa Gang. This man was never trying to be a rapper who acted tough. He was really like that in the streets before the music. By 2020, when he dropped Back in Blood with Lil Durk, the whole industry knew his name. But the streets already knew what type of timing he was on way before that. We're talking about somebody with a real reputation, multiple incidents, and the type of connections that make people think twice before saying his name wrong. His rise in the music industry was meteoric, but it wasn't just because of the music. It was because people knew he was authentic. Every bar he spit about the streets, people knew it was real life, not just entertainment. Big Boogie, on the other hand, was coming up around the same time, grinding hard trying to make it out. He had talent, no doubt about that. His melodic style mixed with that Memphis grit made him stand out. Songs like SMMH and Mental Healing showed he could actually rap and had a unique sound. But here's the thing, in Memphis, talent alone don't protect you. You need the right cosigns, the right people around you, and most importantly, you need to move smart. Big Boogie was trying to navigate the music industry while also navigating the dangerous streets of Memphis. And that's a tightrope walk that very few can manage successfully. Initially, these two weren't enemies. They were just two artists from the same city trying to blow up. There might have even been mutual respect at some point, at least on the surface. But Memphis is a small city when it comes to the rap scene, and eventually paths cross, tensions build, and small issues become major problems. What starts as a misunderstanding or a perceived slight can quickly escalate into something life-threatening. Now here's where things started getting spicy. The beef didn't jump off over no diss track or album sales. Now this was way more personal than that. Word started circulating in Memphis that there was tension between the two camps. And in the streets, tension is like a lit fuse. It's only a matter of time before something explodes. The first real public sign that something was off came through social media. You know how it goes. Subliminal posts, cryptic captions, stories that seem innocent but the streets know exactly who they're aimed at. Big Boogie would post something about loyalty, Pooh Shiesty's name would get brought up in comments, and folks started picking sides. This is how modern beef develops, fam. It's not always direct confrontation at first. It's subliminals, it's energy, it's the way people move when they're in the same spaces. People in Memphis started noticing that whenever both artists were scheduled to be at the same event, one of them wouldn't show up, or they'd arrive at completely different times. The city started talking, blogs started reporting, and the tension became undeniable. Neither one was really addressing it directly yet, but everyone could feel that something was brewing beneath the surface. But that's just the beginning though. What really set this whole thing ablaze was when Pooh Shiesty hopped on Instagram Live one night. And let me tell you, this wasn't no regular live session where he's just vibing with fans and playing music. This man was in his feelings, or maybe he was just being brutally honest. Either way, what he said shook the whole Memphis rap scene to its core. Pooh Shiesty straight up said, "I never liked Big Boogie gang, never. All that fake love shit, I ain't never been on that with him."
I ain't never liked you, cuz.
The live went viral instantly. Clips spread across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. People couldn't believe Pooh just said that out loud with no filter, no hesitation, no concern about the consequences. Because in hip-hop, even when there's beef, artists usually try to maintain some level of professionalism, or at least pretend there's mutual respect. It's all about image control, right? You might hate someone behind the scenes, but publicly you try to keep it diplomatic. But Pooh? Nah. He said exactly what was on his mind with zero filter. The energy was different, the tone was serious, and you could tell this wasn't for clout or album promotion. This was genuine dislike, real animosity that had been building up for a minute. He wasn't yelling or being overly aggressive either. It was calm, matter of fact, which somehow made it even more chilling. When someone can calmly tell you they never liked you, that's a different level of real. And that's when everyone knew this wasn't just rap beef. This was personal, street-level tension that could turn deadly at any moment. Now, what happened next is what really exposed how serious this situation was. Big Boogie ended up on a podcast, and the host asked him directly about the tension with Pooh Shiesty. This is where it gets real uncomfortable, fam, because what Big Boogie said next was something you rarely hear in hip-hop, especially from someone trying to maintain a tough image. Big Boogie basically admitted on camera that he doesn't want beef with Pooh Shiesty.
I never had beef with nobody in Memphis.
But it wasn't because of music or clout. It was because he's genuinely scared of what Pooh Shiesty is capable of. Let me repeat that. He said he's scared because of what Pooh is known for in the streets. Not intimidated, not cautious, scared. Think about that for a second. This is a grown man, a rapper with his own career and reputation, sitting on a podcast telling the world he's afraid of another rapper. That's not about pride or ego at that point. That's survival instinct kicking in. Big Boogie knows what Pooh Shiesty's name rings bells for in Memphis, and he's not trying to be another statistic in a city that already has too many young black men dying over street beef. He said something along the lines of, "I ain't got no problem with Pooh, man. That ain't the type of situation I'm trying to be in. Everybody know what he about. I'm not trying to go there with him because I know what comes with that." The way he said it, you could see it in his eyes. This wasn't cap, this was real fear. His body language changed, his voice got quieter, and you could tell this was somebody who had genuinely weighed his options and decided that his pride wasn't worth his life. The podcast hosts looked uncomfortable too, because they realized they were capturing a moment that went beyond entertainment. This was a man being completely vulnerable about his fear for his own safety. And honestly, that might have been the smartest thing Big Boogie could have said. Because in the streets, sometimes admitting you don't want smoke is better than trying to act tough and ending up in a situation you can't control. But in hip-hop culture, that admission comes with a serious price. Your credibility takes a massive hit. Other artists start looking at you different, and fans start questioning if you're really about what you rap about. The comment section on that podcast interview was brutal. People were calling him soft, saying he should have never done that interview, saying he just ended his own career. But Big Boogie probably looked at it differently. Better to have a career with damaged credibility than to be dead with your street reputation intact. But wait, it gets worse. Because while Big Boogie was trying to avoid problems with Pooh Shiesty, he had whole other issues brewing. There's another Memphis rapper named Corey, and these two had their own back and forth going on. This adds a whole other layer to the story because it shows Big Boogie was caught between multiple beefs at the same time, which is probably the worst position you can be in as an artist trying to navigate Memphis street politics. Now, the situation with Corey was different. This seemed more like typical rap competition beef. Shots in songs, subliminals on social media, the usual competitive energy. Corey felt like Big Boogie was getting more attention and opportunities, and Big Boogie felt like Corey was hating on his come-up. Normal rap politics type shit that happens in every city. This was the kind of beef that could have stayed on wax, could have been good for both their careers through the competition. But here's where it all connects and gets embarrassing for Big Boogie. There's this viral clip that's been circulating, and if you haven't seen it, you need to check this out because it's one of the most brutal call-outs I've seen in recent memory. Big Boogie is somewhere, probably feeling himself after a few drinks or just caught up in the moment, and he says real loud and confident, "Name a ninja that played with me." He said it like he was untouchable, like nobody in Memphis had ever tried him or made him back down. The energy was all the way up, chest out, feeling like the toughest in the room. You know that moment when somebody's feeling themselves a little too much and they say something they're gonna regret. This was that moment. He was clearly trying to establish his credibility, trying to show everyone that he's not to be played with despite whatever people might think. And then Corey, without missing a beat, without even raising his voice, says, "Pooh Shiesty, yo!" The silence that followed was loud. You could hear a pin drop. You could see Big Boogie's whole demeanor change in real time. His face dropped, his energy shifted, and suddenly that confidence evaporated. He didn't have a comeback. He couldn't say nothing because Corey just called out the one truth everybody already knew. Pooh Shiesty absolutely played him, made him feel threatened enough to completely switch up his whole approach, and there wasn't a damn thing Big Boogie could do about it. That clip spread like wildfire across every platform. Memes, jokes, reaction videos. The internet had a field day with it. People were clipping it, adding funny sound effects, making TikToks with the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song. It became one of those moments that defines your career in the worst way possible. And the worst part, Big Boogie couldn't even defend himself or try to spin it because everybody knew it was true. That's the type of embarrassment that follows you in the rap game. You can't come back from that easily. Every tough guy bar you rap after that moment, people gonna remember Corey saying "Pooh Shiesty" and you not having a single response. Here's where the story takes an even crazier turn, and this is where you really see how deep the fear goes. All this tension, all this beef, all these threats, it got so real that Big Boogie made a major life decision that most Memphis rappers would never make. He picked up everything and moved from Memphis to Atlanta, leaving behind his entire support system, his family, his friends, everything he knew. Now, artists move cities all the time for various reasons. Better opportunities, studio access, networking with bigger artists and producers. Atlanta is the mecca of Southern hip-hop, so on paper, it makes perfect sense for an up-and-coming rapper to relocate there. But let's keep it 100. Big Boogie didn't move to Atlanta for the music scene or better opportunities. He moved because Memphis became too dangerous for him to stay. And the reason Memphis became too dangerous, Pooh Shiesty and his gang, this ain't speculation, fam. People close to the situation, people in Memphis who know both camps, confirmed that Big Boogie felt like his life was in genuine danger. When you're beefing with somebody who has real street ties, who has people willing to move on your behalf at any moment, and who has a reputation for not playing games, you either stand your ground and risk everything, or you remove yourself from the situation entirely before it's too late. Big Boogie chose self-preservation. He chose Atlanta. He chose to leave his city, the place he grew up, the place that made him who he is as an artist, because staying meant potentially losing his life. That's how serious this got. This wasn't about running from a rap beef where people go back and forth on songs. This was about getting out before things escalated to violence, before he became another Memphis homicide statistic. And you know what's crazy? Even after moving hundreds of miles away, the situation still followed him like a shadow. Social media don't forget. The internet don't forget. Every time Big Boogie posts something on Instagram, there's comments about Pooh Shiesty. Every time he does an interview promoting new music, somebody asks questions about why he really left Memphis. Every time he tries to establish himself in Atlanta, somebody brings up that Corey clip or the podcast where he admitted he was scared. The man literally can't escape it no matter how far he runs. Look, at the end of the day, this situation is deeper than entertainment or internet drama. Big Boogie might have lost serious street credibility and his reputation took a major hit, but he's still alive and breathing, still making music. Pooh Shiesty maintained his tough reputation and nobody questions his credibility, but he's sitting in a cell facing decades in federal prison. So who really won? That's the question we gotta ask ourselves. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what y'all think. Stay safe out there, y'all. Memphis is different.